identifying challenges and doing feasibility analysis, I think, is quite important for business competitions, even if the judgment criteria does not include it. And the reason I say this is just that you may come up with the most brilliant ideas, but if they're not grounded in reality or grounded in the context of the case, in case of a case competition, then that idea has no value. For example, you might come up with a revolutionary artificial intelligence idea in a particular case competition for your clients, and it might be quite useful to have that form of artificial intelligence. But if the technology behind that artificial intelligence hasn't been invented yet, then there is no point to that solution because it's just not realistic. So there are two ways of looking at the whole concept of identifying challenges and feasibility. So the first part is identifying challenges. And how do you identify these challenges? I think a very easy way to look at it is from a third eye perspective. So from a judge's perspective, they look at your case, then what are the questions that they may have? And these are the challenges to it. So for example, if you're targeting a particular target market, and these target markets or one or two, whatever number that you've identified of your target group, if they have certain challenges associated with them, that is the sort of question that the judges may ask, and therefore they are the questions that comprise of your challenges part of your solution. Secondly, trying to ground your solution on a more realistic scale. So what do I mean by this? Cases have contexts, and open-ended branding competitions have the real world. You need to back up your solution with regards to either the context of the case or the context of the real world, depending on the type of competition that you're doing, and have an explanation as to why this is realistic. And you always have to do this with regards to feasibility analysis. I think it's important regardless of whether or not you even have a feasibility slide. You just need to mention it when you're mentioning your solution. Either do it separately or do it within the solution itself, but I'd recommend doing it separately because I think it becomes quite an issue when people try to be a bit more creative than they ought to be in a lot of cases. Which is not to say that I'm not discouraging people to be creative, but creativity also has to be grounded in reality, and that is something that we ought to be aware of. So if asked with why is your solution realistic, if you have, okay, 3 ways in which my solution is realistic, list out the 3 ways. Or maybe my solution is realistic because within the context of the case, this is something that has already been done and has been proven to be successful in this particular market. We just want to apply it to a different market because we think these markets have similar characteristics in these ways. That is also a very good way of saying that your solution is quite realistic because it has just been tried before. And there can be various ways of doing this, but having that frame of question in your mind as to why is this solution realistic is quite useful, and then listing out ways in which the solution is realistic is going to really help you build your solution in a branding competition or a case competition, whatever competition that we're talking about in this particular scenario.